The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, William Ruto, is receiving a lot of positive press just now. Now, of course, I've noticed the group of people on this channel in the comments area who have been very aggressively pushing the rhetoric that these days I belong to the Deputy President's camp. And I know why they think that. It's simply because I'm myself. I like to give a balanced analysis, not one with venom towards a particular candidate. And my views on a DP Ruto candidature for the President of the Republic of Kenya are very well known, and they have not changed. They are based on me following the man's politics for a very long time, since the Moi days. And I know this will hurt many of my fans here who are very staunch supporters of the Deputy President. But the truth is, my views have not changed. And I believe they will never change. Because I don't believe in a leopard or a cheetah changing its spots. Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, what I want you to take careful note of is the fact that the Deputy President is receiving increasingly positive coverage in the media. And there are two main reasons, in my view, why this is happening. Number one, politics, by its very nature, is something which is very fluid. The crowd that cheers you on today will boo you tomorrow. That's just the nature of politics. Number two, what do you expect when you have an idle Deputy President? Because I don't think it's a secret in Kenya. He has no work. Today, he is an outsider in the Jubilee government he helped form. Those are the facts. Now, for political opponents of the Deputy President, that is not a good idea. Because, what do you think he's going to keep himself busy doing? Take a guess. His 2022 presidential campaign, which is now clearly hurtling forward at full speed. And the Deputy President has another advantage. He is criticizing government. And when a government gets unpopular, and you happen to be on the other side criticizing that government, guess what? You already have momentum pushing you forward, even before you open your mouth to say a single word. This came out very clearly in the impromptu Meet the People address in Athi River, close to Nairobi, earlier today. Kenyans are very frustrated just now. Kenyans are very angry at their government just now. So call a meeting anywhere. And if Kenyans come, they will cheer on anything you say that appears to be against the government. And there's something else that has become very clear from the Athi River rally. Former Machakos Senator Johnson Muthama is clearly going to be one of the chief campaigners of the Deputy President. Yes, the very same Muthama who was one of the chief campaigners for Raila Odinga during the 2017 presidential elections. Now, this is getting very interesting. Because we know Machakos Governor Alfred Mutua told us his plans 8 years ago. He stated very clearly he was going for 2 terms as governor, and then after that, he would go for the presidency. And indeed, a few days ago, he launched his presidential campaign and said that top on his agenda would be creating jobs for Kenyans. I believe that will be the main point of contention. That will be the main point that will win the election for the next president, the 5th president of Kenya. And it is instructive that the Deputy President talked about the very same thing in Athi River just a few hours ago. And by the way, Athi River is in Machakos County. And then Bwana Mudhama also announced that in 2022, he will be vying for governor of Machakos County. Mtu has finished his 2 terms, he cannot vie again. Mudhama says he's going for Mtua's seat in 2022. And he told the people the only way his plans can work is if he's able to talk and communicate and get favors from whoever will be sitting in State House. And therefore, he told the Kamba nation, they must vote in Deputy President William Ruto. According to Mudhama, that is the man who must sit in State House for Mudhama's grand plans for the Kamba nation to work. And that's not all. We have another major presidential candidate from the Kamba nation in 2022. That's Makueni Governor Kivutha Kibwana, also serving his 2nd and last term as Makueni Governor. And then, of course, we have Kalonzo Musyoka. My, oh my. Won't the Kamba nation be very fascinating in 2022 when it comes to the presidential campaigns? I think it will be what we call Kivumbi Ukambani when it comes to the presidential race. And it is way too early to make any predictions. Governor Mtua's advantage is that he has already secured financing for his presidential campaign. And of course, he has the track record of what he has done in Machakos County. On the other hand, Kivutha Kibwana has never been mentioned in any corruption scandal. I think most of us can see how that is going to be a major edge, a major advantage in the 2022 campaigns. In my view, very interesting developments. Now, before I go, I want to share with you a few details from a super fascinating story I've been working on for quite some time now. On and off, of course, because the virus, the Wuhan virus, interrupted a lot of things. One of the things it interrupted was a story I was following up after something very dramatic happened in early March, which I'm sure many Kenyans didn't take note of. And it is this, it's highly sensitive. It is this, the intelligence community gave us a new version of how and why JM Kariuki died or was killed. JM Kariuki, of course, was the very popular former legislator for Nyandarua North, who was murdered on Sunday, 2nd March, 1975, 45 years ago. Now, going by my past experience, the intelligence community in Kenya never gives us a new version of a story in good faith. Never. Usually there's an objective. And you can be sure that in this new JM version, there's an objective linked to our current politics. Now, before I go any further, let me refer you to yet another attempt to rewrite, rephrase, change details in history that was done by the intelligence community a few years back. And this was in connection to the passing on of Kenya's first president, Jomo Kenyatta, in Mombasa in 1978. The following exclusive details were given to a leading daily in Kenya. In a nutshell, the new information was that the intelligence community deliberately made sure that Mbiu Koinange, a key member of the Jomo Kenyatta inner circle, cabal, if you like, was lured away from Mombasa on the night Mzee passed on, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Now, for those who may not be aware, during Jomo Kenyatta's entire presidency, his Minister of State, his brother-in-law, his best friend, his close ally, Mbiu Kenange, never failed to be at his side every single day. If the president was in Mombasa, Mbiu Kenange would be sure was in Mombasa. If he was in Nakuru, you would be sure Mbiu Kenange was in Nakuru. And he was always at his side every day without fail, except on the day the president passed on. The story that the leading daily in Kenya was given was that the reason was that they lured Mbiu Kenange away from Jomo Kenyatta's side on that day. Yeah, and they did it using a man called Charles Njonjo, the former IG, who pretended that there were some investors who wanted to meet Bwana Koinange in Nairobi, and the president was in Mombasa. And so Mbiu Koinange took a flight and left the president's side to rush to meet these investors, non-existent investors. Very nice, juicy story, except for one disturbing detail. The only way that story can fly is that somebody knew that Jomo Kenyatta was going to pass on that particular night. How did they know? Because we know Jomo Kenyatta slipped in and out of coma for years. He was sick for many days, on end. But somehow ended up recovering. So even if he was very sick on this particular day, which he was not, based on other eyewitness reports, but even if he was, how would somebody have predicted that this was it? 22nd August 1978 was it? How would have somebody predicted that? Unless the Almighty God themselves. Oh yes. So somebody ended up printing a very nice, juicy, big story, but with a gaping hole. And you can be sure, that there was a very good reason for spinning that tale. Now back to JM. The new JM version of his murder also has a glaring hole bang in the middle of it. But that is not what is fascinating. That is not what attracted my attention to this particular story. No. What attracted my attention to it, what made me sit up, was the objective, which, as I've said earlier, is linked to the current Kenyan politics and clearly suggests to us what we should expect after 2022. Now, the main source for this story is a former special branch intelligence officer called James Hatwenge. Now, Bwana Hatwenge says some very fascinating, shocking things in his revelations, which will enable anybody who's not familiar with the fine details of the JM issue to swallow this story hook, line, and sinker. He names the person who pulled the trigger, but then adds that it was an accident. It was not meant to happen on that particular day. And he gives the events leading up to that alleged, unintentional shooting. Now, I'm afraid a lot of these details are still very sensitive. I mean, if somebody is going to bring this up now, the year 2020, you can be sure that it is highly sensitive. And it is in my latest Club 1999 sensitive video. And I have a very special offer for you to be a member of Club 1999 that will give you life membership for both Club 1999 and weekly intelligence briefings. You can see the details on your screen right now. But for those of you already members of Club 1999, just check your inbox in a few minutes. It will be there. A very fascinating report I've prepared. It took me quite a while to get it all together. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy it enormously. And learn a lot of super fascinating details, including details on extrajudicial killings by the police in Kenya. But of course, the highlight is the link to this new story, the link to our current politics. and what it tells us will happen in 2022. Make sure you catch it. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.